Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today, Bankrupt be joined once again by Jake, and like always, Fluff.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, beautiful people?
And today's matchup is actually Jake versus Matt, but Matt couldn't be here for today, unfortunately, so we're going to do it anyways. Today's matchup is Syn Shenron versus U7 Goku. So let's get into today's matchup.
Yeah, this was a matchup I was honestly pretty worried about, like considering the amount of pressure that U7 can apply early in the game, and then U7 also has like removal attached to a lot of its battle cards. So once I evolve a Shadow Dragon out of the larval stage, we'll call it, they're all kind of susceptible to be removed, and I didn't really know. Because before this game, we both agreed that we weren't going to sideboard and just kind of like test our main decks against each other. And I wasn't really sure like how that would change the power dynamic. Where normally in best of one pre-side, I could board in a lot of extra like negates and things to extend the game.
This is a very difficult matchup for Syn Shenron because of aforementioned removal that U7 has. Especially a lot of it being neg. So you can lose a lot of the momentum that, especially around turn 3, turn 4, that you would typically carry to put in that early game pressure to put your opponent within triple strike range. And the way that Matt plays his Universe 7 specifically, he's really built his Universe 7 towards the bubble of our meta. And you'll notice when he plays it, he puts a lot of undue pressure early to put you in kill range for his later stuff.
Which is a pretty solid strategy, I feel like, against most decks. But Syn, he's just going to put me, if he doesn't like modulate that plan at all, he'll end up putting me right where I want to be at 3 life.
Yeah. But the longer that you can stay on your front side, the more consistent that you're going to be over this match, which may be important, especially if he gets into a lot of his removal pieces, which we can see already out of his hand. He's sitting on a couple pieces of removal. He's just waiting to use them, so he's going to go for pressure at this point before you have the ability to do anything. And he doesn't have to swing with his leader. I don't know if he's going to awaken this turn or not. It looks like he's trying to awaken himself here.
Yeah. If you saw, he picked up the secret rare off of that rip and then just comboed all his extra 1-drops into that attack.
Yeah. He could avoid your 1-drop here and just not swing with the leader this turn. So when he awakens next turn, he'll have that additional pressure. I'm just not sure what he's going to do here.
So here, I just go ahead and use Haze and get rid of the Frieza, because I don't want to be at 4 life this early in the game.
Yeah, that Haze was huge.
Yeah, I ended up finding it off of my top 5 on my first turn, which was really nice. So, like, having access to that made me feel a little bit safer, like safe enough to tap out and play the ball.
So, I'm just going to point out real quick, we're about to run to the only misplay I caught initially, coming up pretty soon. Jake, you will... Oh, I thought you passed the turn. He activated his main, that's what it was, okay.
Yeah.
So when Jake swings, Matt will activate a negate that he actually cannot activate. He pays the incorrect amount of energy for it, and you'll all see it in a second.
Oh, really?
Yep, you go swinging towards, I think, 17. Bring out the 4-drop to lock down his leader. It doesn't really do much, actually, because he just activates main to do everything else he needs. He just misses out on the draw and swing, right?
Right, but I don't think he even draws on swing. For me, it's just making the math easier on how many attacks he has.
So there's the misplay. He only had 1 open
energy. He
energy.
paid 1 energy. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he picked up a life, but he would have had to have been at 5 for that.
Yeah. Another smart option here for you, Jake, would have been to lock down his 17 instead of locking down the leader. Locking down the leader against U7 doesn't do a whole ton. But you're going to just pressure the 17 anyway.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that I got blocked there, but that's okay. My thinking on the 17 is that I can remove it by blocking with this 9, and he'll have to combo pretty heavily to even threaten my guy.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to lock the leader down and prevent an attack that way.
Matt is going to burn all of his energy getting rid of the Syn this turn.
Yes.
Fortunately, you do get to negate the crit, and you get to negate the dual attack on that Frieza.
Yeah, I don't know if we remembered that or not, but it looks like that's what I'm explaining here.
Yeah, you pointed to them, so I'm pretty sure that you did negate them. You did negate the skill, and this is still a lot of pressure for you to be receiving on your tapped out turn 2.
Yeah, I just go ahead and let him put me to 3. It's just so much pressure. I feel like I'm gonna have to awaken.
Yeah, like I said, the Syn Shenron match here can be pretty tricky. That's an excellent power of a Super Saiyan there.
Oh yeah,
going ahead and wrap up that pressure.
Yeah, even though it doesn't have the dual attack, I'm at 3. I need to have something for his next turn defensively, like to combo away. So, yeah.
He did tap his leader, or tried to tap his leader, but the leader was locked down, so he's not going to get that swing.
Oddly enough, it comes back to active mode, but it just can't attack. So
Correct. So what are you thinking at this point? He's got a pretty wide field, and it can be difficult and tricky and sticky for Syn Shenron to try to clear a field off like this. Like you have to consider his life points at this point. So what are you thinking here? Are you just trying to remove the field pressure?
Mostly, yeah. That's my plan. And I need to go up another chain because he revealed the what's it called? He revealed the secret rare off of his very first 17 swing.
Correct.
And what basically that puts me on a clock where I have to have something established to deal with that secret rare by turn 4, which is his next turn. So as much as I would like to devote a lot of energy into pressuring his high life total or even his battle cards, at this stage I just can't really justify it.
Yeah. And that's what makes this match tricky, because he's inevitably going to probably remove the 9-drop next turn as well.
Yeah.
And this is where Syn can kind of get clogged up here, trying to remove everything else on the field instead of focusing on that life total. But you seem to be doing a decent job of balancing it out. It looks like you maybe have a plan for what's currently on the field here, leaving the 1 energy open as you pass your turn and get your restand.
Yeah, I mean, I've already used Pause, so leaving 1 up in yellow either reads really heavily into something like Nimbus or Forbidden Power, or Vegeta's Final Flash.
Yeah.
So here again, he plays the Frieza, plays another Vegeta, which sucks for me, but I'm okay with because I get to draw cards, and then these battle cards will be at effectively half effectiveness for this turn.
Yeah.
And then he's spent too much energy to where he can't play his secret rare, so I'm safe to conduct my next turn. Although I need to get into a position where I can either negate its skills coming in or find a way to survive it, because with my low life total, I can't really afford to let the effect go off and get crit life.
Correct. Do you run Black Kamehameha in this list?
It's in the sideboard, so normally I would have boarded it in for this matchup, but I am basically running like Juha's list that topped recently. Just a few cards different for cards that I'm missing, but he doesn't run very many extra cards at all, and the more that I play the deck, the more I start to agree with that decision. But normally I would definitely board in Black Kamehameha for this matchup.
Yeah. I mean 3 because of how prevalent aggro has been. They're easy charge targets. It's not an aggro matchup. It's just one of those cards that, like, it could eliminate a lot of this pressure and might put in a little bit more work than Nimbus.
Yeah, it's an excellent card, especially because you can't really use Nimbus offensively in any way.
Correct.
So I'm really happy to see that Violent Rays go to the drop area off of this one drop as well, considering my plan now is to just try and survive the pressure and crack back on 5 or 6 depending on what I draw into.
Yeah, that's got to be your recourse here. And as long as you're able to establish a 9-drop, I know the way that Matt thinks. Matt is not going to want to board the secret rare or the 8-drop Goku because he doesn't want to waste the turn. Even though boarding them, letting them get negated, leaving them in active mode is probably the best decision.
Yeah, if you don't have much else to do with your energy, playing the Goku wouldn't be terrible either, because you could at least remove the Syn, and then it can't block or anything.
Yeah.
Sure, you're not going to get to peek the hand this turn, but if it comes back to you and you still have Goku on the board, then yeah, you'll definitely get to use that effect.
The longer this match goes, the more the favor is going to shift towards the Sen player. At least in my experience anyway. U7 is either able to kill you very early, or they kind of struggle, or they make you go through all 4 Syn Shenron, and then they try to kill you.
Yeah, so here I'm just going into my drop area, trying to see how many chains he's already killed through, what I have access to.
This should be your 3rd chain.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just, can you find another 9-drop Shenron if this one gets removed?
Right.
Is the real question.
Here I'm thinking really hard about what to do. In a situation like this, it's easy to not want to spend energy and just like leave a lot of defense up when you're staring down a board like this and a life total discrepancy like this. But the way things are going for me right now, I don't have anything to spend that energy on. So I'm better off using it on my turn and trying to establish some kind of defense than hoping I luck into something off of the life.
You've not really been able to establish a Nova or a Natron this game, which is basically keeping you, or an Ice, which is keeping you off of the other 8-drop Omega Shenron. So it's really interesting that basically the second dragon that you've played is the big Warp 7 Omega Shenron.
Yeah. Don't have a lot of tools, really. You see the Nova and the Energy, and I comboed off one earlier, so.
Got a quick question. I was double checking a few things. When you played the 4-drop, do you know what you selected?
That turn?
Yeah, or this turn right here, because it looked like you played the leader.
I was gonna do Frieza, and then I think I chose the leader.
It has to be in rest mode for its effects, unfortunately. And that's why I thought you pointed towards the leader, and I just wanted to touch base on this, because those 2 battle cards you swung into, you could have chosen one of them instead, and they couldn't have attacked.
Yeah, I didn't know it had to be in rest mode. Yeah. So this is like my second game with this deck.
Yeah,
so
like, you surprised me when you brought this deck, and I'm like, you've never played this before.
Yeah.
The old special.
Yeah, I just thought I enjoy it, playing against it when Fluff plays it. It seems like my style of deck. So, and then this really complicated things, dropping the Jiren on me.
Yeah.
So I also was really curious, and unfortunately Matt's not here to talk about it. He's charged 3 of those Gokus.
Matt, I can tell you exactly what's going on. Matt is valuing the negging side of the deck, so specifically the Goku and the Friezas, to remove the Sen. And that's why he played the Jiren there, was to get rid of the Sen. It was for no reason other than that. So he doesn't see value in those cards in this particular matchup. Even though they are fantastic cards, he's really valuing the ability to neg out, particularly that Syn Shenron. Because Matt and I have played this match a couple times, and that's just always how he's dealt with it. That is going to put you on your 4th gotta have it Syn Shenron there, which is kind of unfortunate. but you're about to go into your turn 5. If you can survive one more turn, you go into turn 6, which gives you the ability to kind of get a massive board if you so need it.
Yeah, you see I discarded a 9 there. My plan here is to just end the game once I untap. I haven't really been flashing a lot of my hand to the camera, but he's tapped all the way up. His hand size is 3 or 4 at this stage. He doesn't have a lot of board presence. I've managed to work through most of it. Everything in my mind, and there's the Nimbus I was looking for, just got crit away. Everything in my mind is telling me to go for the kill.
Yep.
And then, I mistakenly told him he couldn't swing there. But I didn't know.
His hand is kind of low at this point. It looks like he's sitting on 5 or 6 cards in hand, which is pretty low for Universe 7, but that's also a byproduct of how Matt generally runs this deck, where he'll put on the heavy pressure. And he's been putting a lot of, I think we've seen him play 3 Vegetas. We've seen him play 3 Freezes. So he's definitely burning through his resources and running out of things to do. So he's got to be thinking about maybe throwing down that secret rare next turn if he survives.
Oh, yeah, he has to.
And I can see in his hand occasionally, he does have the Piccolo, but unfortunately he did have to do the minus on Jiren just to get your Syn Shenron down so low so it could go away.
Yeah. Had to spend a lot of energy removing it compared to what I spent to play it. Sometimes you have to do that, though.
But he didn't play a lot of battle cards this turn, though, so, at the same time, Syn Shenron wasn't as relevant that turn, in my opinion.
It was, yeah, the main thing is it was keeping him out of his secret rare. And if that's how he wanted to finish the game, then in his mind, he had to get rid of it.
Yeah. You've done a really good job of baiting him into being tapped out, so now you're going to be able to put on a ton of pressure moving forward and just slashing the game out from here. One thing I find curious is that you opted to remove the Nova for the Omega when you could have swung Omega, dealt 3, and then Omega'd off of the Omega.
And then played another one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here in a second, I think my actual plan becomes a little bit more clear. So here he takes the 3, and I go ahead and remove the 12 and success sell. And then now if he survives sell somehow, I have another Omega in hand to play.
Perfect. Yeah. I think sell is such a good choice for secret rare in this.
For sure.
I've been playing the Kai in my list recently, but sell fits in so well. The deck makes sell so smoothly.
Yeah. It's just, you saw there, I probably spent 3 energy getting that 12 energy worth of battle cards.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
see, and then there's the second Omega.
Yeah, and then Cell just wraps it up there.
Yeah,
which is the way that the Sen player has to do this. You really have to bait the Universe 7 player into tapping out, resourcing themselves out, finding a spot for the throat, and going for the throat.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that I called that effect that couldn't have happened, but really, with him tapped up like that, all it would have changed is I would have had 1 life and an extra card in hand on my turn.
Yeah, it would have put you on half to kill this turn.
Yes.
So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in today's matchup. Keep in mind, just button simple and on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
Good match versus 2 really good decks. Both Matt's pretty seasoned with U7. Jake's played against Syn Shenron enough that he comes across this season while playing it. As always, read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and Fluff out.